Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Yellowstone's lowest rated episodes confirm the harshest reality about Taylor Sheridan's show without Kevin Costner. There's a harsh reality about Yellowstone's lowest rated episodes, proving Kevin Costner's prowess in Taylor Sheridan's modern Western TV show. Due to several factors, Costner didn't return as John Dutton IUI in the final chapter of Sheridan's neo-Western, leaving many fans disappointed that Costner and Sheridan couldn't resolve their disputes to close the show. Rather than include Costner's return, Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 9, Desire is All You Need, chronicles John Dutton's fate, explaining how the state's leader died in the Montana governor's mansion. After John Dutton dies in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 9, the back half of the season focuses on John's children. While Beth, Kelly Rayleigh, and Case, Luke Grimes, had complete endings, Season 5 faltered without John Dutton, and its ratings reflect this. While there are hints in plain sight that John Dutton was always supposed to die in Yellowstone, Costner's exit forced John's death to happen in the premiere. This then clouded the series with divisive flashbacks necessary to bridge the gap between Part 2 and the previously aired Part 1, while lacking a powerhouse performance. Of all 5 seasons, Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2, contains 3 of the lowest-rated episodes of the entire show, according to IMDb. Based on the website's ranking system, Season 5, Episodes 9, 10, and 13 are the least liked Yellowstone installments, proving that Costner's exit significantly impacted the series. The numbers suggest fans agree that Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 9, is one of the worst episodes of the flagship series. Costner's character dies in Episode 9, and the ratings imply that viewers disliked how Sheridan handled the departure. Yellowstone viewers didn't care for Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 10, The Apocalypse of Change, either. It features a lengthy flashback to Texas that confuses the timeline in the first half of the episode. The segment perfectly shows how Yellowstone's final season struggles with pacing, spending too much time on trivial moments and too little on the central plot. Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, Give the World Away, the penultimate episode, left the worst impression. When Beth liquidated the ranch's assets, the episode practically confirmed Season 5's ending. Yellowstone wasn't the same without the cornerstone of Costner playing John, and the ratings from Season 5 don't say otherwise. There are clues that Costner's exit only slightly changed Yellowstone's ending, which suggests the patriarch would have died regardless. Still, few would deny that Costner's time was cut short. Costner returning for Yellowstone Season 5 would have allowed the final chapters to play out chronologically, like every other season of the series. This creative choice could have satisfyingly led to John Dutton's death unfolding nearer to the show's end. Costner not returning to the series meant that Season 5 had to deal with the Montana governor's death immediately in Part 2. Additionally, John was the main character and the season was without its central cog. Ultimately, the story would have benefited from his presence a while longer. When the main characters are primarily John's children and their families, he is the element that ties them all to the fraught Dutton family legacy. While his character wasn't everyone's favorite, Costner's John Dutton was the soul of the neo-Western, and his exit affected more than just his family's outcome. Despite all the understandable disappointment due to Costner's exit, Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 still works. Beth and Case have some of the best stories in Season 5, Part 2, which was important since the characters rose to prominence after their father's death. While Kelly Rayleigh and Luke Grimes were always central cast members, they typically took a backseat to Costner. In the final chapter, Beth and Case's stories are the most vital part, with storylines like Case's freedom from the ranch filling out Yellowstone's ending cathartically. The best part of the final segment is what happens to the ranch in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 14, which likely would have played out the same no matter when John died. Case sells the land to the Broken Rock tribe following his father's death, which allows his family to move on from the burden of protecting the ranch, while restoring it to the indigenous stewards. The end of Yellowstone Season 5 was predetermined on a different Sheridan show, so luckily John's death still factored into the conclusion, making for a full-circle ending. Yellowstone, the flagship series from Taylor Sheridan, has enjoyed an unprecedented run of success over the years. From its sweeping landscapes to its gripping family drama, the show quickly became a cultural phenomenon. But as the series progresses, its once unbeatable momentum seems to be faltering, especially after the departure of Kevin Costner, the actor whose portrayal of John Dutton helped anchor the show's legacy. The lowest-rated episodes of the series to date paint a grim picture of a show that may be losing its soul without Costner's commanding presence. For years, Kevin Costner embodied John Dutton, a character whose steely determination to protect his family's land often led him into morally gray areas. His deep, measured performances became the backbone of the show's emotional gravitas. Without Costner, fans began to feel the void left behind, not just in terms of his star power, but in the core thematic elements that his character helped drive. As the show continues to churn out new episodes, particularly in the aftermath of his departure, it's becoming increasingly clear that Yellowstone is facing a harsh reality. The most telling indicator of the show's current struggles lies in the ratings. The lowest-rated episodes of the series have occurred after Costner's exit, signaling a clear decline in viewer investment. These episodes are often characterized by pacing issues, underdeveloped storylines, and an overall sense of emotional dissonance. Without Costner's larger-than-life portrayal of John Dutton, the show seems adrift. What made Yellowstone so compelling was not just the violent battles over land, but the emotional turmoil of a family torn apart by its own power struggles. Without Costner's intense presence to ground those emotional stakes, it's clear that the series has lost much of what made it great. But it's not just the absence of one man that's causing the downfall of the show. Taylor Sheridan, the mastermind behind the Yellowstone franchise, is also experiencing a shift in direction. While his storytelling abilities have never been in question, his writing for Hell or High Water and Sicario is widely praised. Sheridan's vision for the post-Costner era of Yellowstone has proven to be less than compelling. There is a noticeable drop in the quality of writing and direction in these low-rated episodes. The intricately woven character arcs that made the show so addictive are starting to feel disjointed and directionless. One of the most frustrating aspects of these episodes is the sense of repetitiveness. The storylines often feel like they're treading water, circling around themes and conflicts that have already been explored in greater depth earlier in the series. Dutton family members, once vibrant and nuanced, now feel like caricatures of themselves, locked in never-ending cycles of melodrama. Beth Dutton, once a fan favorite for her fierce wit and unflinching loyalty to her father, is now reduced to being an angry, one-dimensional character. Her endless battles with her father's legacy and her own emotional scars seem to have lost the poignancy they once had. Jamie Dutton, the estranged son, is similarly stuck in a repetitive loop, his motivations feeling increasingly hollow as the series progresses. Perhaps most concerning is the growing emphasis on secondary characters, many of whom lack the depth and complexity required to carry an entire episode. Sheridan has attempted to expand the scope of the show, introducing new characters and subplots to fill the void left by Costner's departure. However, this expansion often feels forced. The new characters, including ranch hands and political figures, lack the strong backstories and compelling arcs that were key to the show's early success. Without the moral center of John Dutton, these side characters often feel lost in a narrative that doesn't seem to have the same focus or urgency. The biggest criticism of the post-Costner era of Yellowstone lies in the lack of emotional resonance. The show's dramatic power once stemmed from the tension between family loyalty and the harsh realities of the world outside the ranch. But with Costner gone, those emotional stakes are no longer as potent. The familial drama feels more like a soap opera than a high-stakes battle for survival. The deep, soul-searching moments between father and son, husband and wife, and siblings are replaced with forced confrontations and empty melodrama. There is a palpable lack of heart in these low-rated episodes, as if the show is struggling to find its identity without the anchor that was John Dutton.